Good morning and welcome to what promises to be a really interesting panel around the topic of consumers and how the power of brands around the world can really enable consumers on topics like climate change, like renewable energy. I'm delighted to be joined here today by three people with a unique perspective from different vantage points in business, but also in civil society. So I have Brian Perkins to my left, who's the Global VP at Budweiser. We have Miranda Ballentine, who's the Managing Director of the Business Renewables Center at the Rocky Mountain Institute. And we have Tony Milikin, the Chief Sustainability and Procurement Officer at AB InBev. So why renewable energy? Why climate change for a brand like Budweiser?
Yeah, I think that, again, it's very simple for us. People have been getting together to enjoy beer for 3,000 years. And we're the biggest international beer brand in the world, the largest alcohol brand in the world. And so it's hugely in our interest to make sure that we create a healthy environment for people to get together for another 3,000 years. Right. Furthermore, with the reach that we have, we sell Budweiser in 85 countries, and to your point, we sell 41 million bottles of Budweiser per day. So that's the opportunity to get people talking about it. That's 41 million potential conversations per day about this issue. So my job and the objective of what we're doing is to translate our company commitments. Our company commitment is to purchase all of our electricity from renewable sources by 2025. Yep. And that's great, but how do you get regular consumers talking about that every day? Yep. So we're going to do that on our flagship brand, on Budweiser, and we're going to do it by putting a symbol on the label of every Budweiser. As soon as in every country, as soon as we can say that Bud has been brewed with 100% renewable electricity, yep, it will go on the label, and it will be there in bars and on supermarket shelves, and then people will actually see it and have the opportunity to talk about it. What have we found? One, climate change is a massive concern to everybody. Probably the number one social concern for all the beer drinkers we talk to, especially younger ones all over the world. However, there's a tension, and that tension is that most people feel powerless on an individual level to make change, to contribute, to solve it. They feel that the scale of the problem is so vast that, short of remembering to switch off the light in the bathroom after you leave the bathroom, they don't really think that they're kind of cracking that nut. And so we think that we'd like to imagine a future in which brands and products and services in the consumer domain can put a symbol like this on their packaging and actually invite people into the conversation and invite people to participate in trying to solve the issue, simply through the beer they choose to enjoy, and the products that they choose to consume.
Right. And Miranda, slightly different lens looking, you've been inside out, now looking outside in terms of how to create systems change. What are the things that keep you up at night in terms of the challenge of scale and speed?
2%. 2% of corporations are actively engaging in the renewable energy market.
Right.
And we come to these discussions, and what do we talk about? We talk about technology, we talk about finance, and we talk about policy. And yes, all three of those things are important, and in each one of those categories, there's something that keeps me up at night, in particular governments and policy, and this is a great environment to talk about that. But we don't talk about the fourth leg of the chair, which is inertia. Inertia behind existing ways of doing business, right, and inertia behind the relationships that we as humans have with energy. And our inertia is we walk in and we flip the switch and it comes on and that's it.
Right.
And we don't think about where it comes from, how we buy it. And so the real value, I think, to a brand like Budweiser is people can relate to that as an everyday brand. When the California companies do renewable energy, a lot of folks can write it off as those lefty, very rich tech companies. They can spend more. When sustainable brands like the Patagonias and the REIs who've been leading this space for decades, when they do it, again, people can write it off as, yeah, they're the sustainable brands. Right. They can spend more because it's a branding, marketing, reputation thing. When everyday brands and everyday companies, when your Carrefours and your Tesco's and your Walmarts and your Budweisers and your Colgates, when they start saying, we're building this product with 100% renewable electricity, That's a very different, that shifts the inertia,
Absolutely.
changes the momentum.
I agree.
And that's what's exciting, but also what
So,
keeps me up at night.
Your alternative is wait around until you know the answer to every question.
Well, and then become part of the inertia. Right?
and become part of the
Yeah.
inertia, and maybe we're back here in 10 years saying we finally cracked it,
Yeah.
and we lost 10 years of opportunity of getting people talking about this, of stimulating debate.
That's right.
And so we firmly believe that we need to move forward.
See, Peter, I would say
Let's
this.
tell them, go ahead.
I would say this. I think that this will start the conversation, right? Good or bad. So if say we get the negative views from some people, I think that gives us a opportunity, that provocation to actually answer it, right? And then start that narrative and conversation as we move forward. I'm right there with Brian. Let's put the stake in the ground. Maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. I think we're right.
And you're trying to be as informed as possible in
Right.
these kinds of forums.
Right.
No good deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the beauty of having a global brand is you have some resilience to that. You get sort of comfortable with, we're going to make a big bet and we're not going to get it all right. And we're going to share with the world what we get right and what we don't get right to keep this ball moving forward, because with this issue, we don't have time.
Yeah.
Time is not on our
with you.
side.